Welcome back to another episode of Talks with TWG. My name is, of course, Al Giro, and today with me I have Leroy Lawrence. Leroy, thank you for your time today.
It's a pleasure, is it? Anytime.
Yeah, so Leroy is the head sommelier at Baco, is that correct?
Yes, that's correct, yes.
How long have you been with Baco?
I actually started at Baco around about, March. I started there and just started as a gentleman moving into it, wants to do actually more fine wine and food pairing, and actually was a great platform for me. So to create something for myself and to build myself up in the industry. But that's what I'm doing now. Yes, as a head sommelier at Baco.
Lovely. Leroy and I studied together at PYDA. And Leroy is always the bright one in class. How do you in your daily work space? How do you put it into work that what you studied?
So in my daily space, it's actually what I studied at PYDA is more like the basics, trying to tell people more in detail, because normally we get a lot of people that don't really understand about wine, and just to explain them about more, to make it in a simple format for them, to bring wine to their level, because everyone don't really understand.
Everybody doesn't understand
on our language at the end of the day. And then I started off, and a little bit of food that I was also doing at my previous winery, a little bit of food, and that was actually the thing that makes me keen and to bite on it, to dive more into the food and into the wines.
Okay, cool. So you are familiar with the wine space, you are familiar, so you have enough knowledge, eh? So can I ask you a few trick questions?
You can ask me some questions, but and then you can see how far my knowledge is actually.
Let's go. Okay, the first question I have for you: how many grapes does it take to make a standard bottle of wine? Look, this is a question that I get many times at work as well.
Okay, so first of all, what I will say, it depends on what grapes you use, whether it's white or it's red as well. But as far as what I know, for more or less, I'm not going to be 100% correct.
Okay.
But for white wine, you probably need around about 1.5 or to 1.8 kilograms.
Okay.
But for red wine, you normally need around about almost like 1.2 to 1.6 kilograms of grapes, just to make it in a 750 ml bottle.
And how many grapes is that specifically, if you can round that off?
Sure. How many grapes? That's roughly I would say, depends on the juice in the grape itself.
Yes.
But I will normally say it will probably take around about between 15 to 22 bunches.
Okay,
That's
what it says. That's about 200 grapes, yeah.
Yeah.
About 200 grapes. You know what you're talking about, eh? You know what you're talking about.
We have in the industry and drink a lot of wine. You have to know.
You have to.
Yeah.
How long after planting a grapevine ready to make wine?
How long? Normally, with these days, with the technology and the plantation that is so advanced. So normally, if you in the old method, people used to take it around about for planting to where it is normally around about between 5 to 8 years, more or less. But these days you can expect your grapevine to grow in between 3 to 5 years. Depends on how fertile the soil is and what you really implement and what you want to do with the grapes is.
Okay. Next question I have for you. We all know a standard bottle of wine is 750 ml.
Yes.
So what is the biggest kind of wine bottle and what is it called?
Yeah. If I'm not mistaken, I think isn't the biggest bottle called a Goliath? If I'm not mistaken.
You are mistaken.
Oh, jeez.
It's the I can't even pronounce his word. Nebuchadnezzar.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
How can I forgot it? On my previous winery, there was actually a bottle
bottle
of
like
wine
that,
named
yeah.
Nebuchadnezzar. It was also part of in the biblical times of Babylon, eh?
Yeah. Nebuchadnezzar.
Babylon, yes, yeah, sure.
And that's about 15 liters of wine. Eh?
Yeah.
What is Australia's most important wine grape? And that's a given.
Sure. Australia's most important wine grape. Isn't it? No, it's not Shiraz. Shiraz is. Yes, it's Shiraz. Yeah. So yeah, it is Shiraz. Quite beautiful Shiraz there in Australia. Especially because they're more warm climate.
100%.
So yeah, Shiraz is the
100%.
beautiful grape that grows on that side. Yes.
100%. There we have it. You see, Leroy knows what he's talking about. We're just going into a wine break or an ad break. So we'll see you after this. Fill up your glasses and be sure to catch us after this. welcome back. Welcome back. I hope your glasses are full because we still have a lot to catch up on. Hey, Lever?
Of course, and I have quite a lot. Yeah.
So I just wanna find out from you. Look, there's different guests that come in on a daily basis to your work, of course.
Yeah.
And each person likes a different wine, so you can't explain this wine to everybody like you explain it to the next person.
Yeah.
So if I come in, or a guest comes in and says, here's a bottle of Merlot, or here's a bottle of Cab, or here's a Bordeaux blend, how would you sell me on that wine?
So first of all, if for me very important, if guests come in, for me personally, it's to welcome you, to meet and greet you, and have a little bit of a conversation with you yourself, and then I take pointers out of what you tell me. So if it's a Bordeaux blend, it depends if it's from a young person, from a student to an elderly person. It all depends for me of how I describe the wine, to what information you give, or what he or she gives at the end of the day. But a normal Bordeaux blend for me personally, one of my favorite wines to enjoy. Just to tell them what the varietals are in there, the percentage of the varietals, and what depends what's dominant, to describe it on what your mood is as you came in. But for me, a Bordeaux blend, most of the time it can be complex. So it depends if it's for elderly people or for younger people. So if it is complex, then I will normally say, hey, this is the Bordeaux blend. It is nice. It is 5 different cultivars, so long in an oak barrel, and it depends on your taste, because wine is not for everyone. So we all don't have the same taste. Although we can stand at the same view, but we don't see the same thing.
We don't see the same thing. Wine is personal.
Exactly, it's personal, and I try to make the wine on a very personal base. For Merlot, I will normally describe, hey, it's a very easy drinking wine, very smooth, something you can enjoy if you want to have a little bit of lamb or a little bit of mash, and to see how it fits for you. But for me, normally to represent the wine, especially when it goes with food, I normally try to describe it to you in a way that you can enjoy for what all already. But Bordeaux blends for me, complex, it's my stand-up wine, it's my favorite go-to wine, and because I like it full body. So that's actually how I like my wines in general.
Look, I can hear you have a passion for it, you have a love for it. But of course, with every passion, there's also things that annoy you.
Yeah.
So what is one thing in your workspace that annoys you, that grieves you?
So one thing for me in my workspace that really really puts me out there to do stuff, is especially when people comes in and you're just doing your work or your job, and then they normally say, hey, but you have this and this, I don't like this, there's too much tannins, or there's too much sulfates in it. But at the end of the day, it depends what you drink, and that's what the norm is, especially of people coming in to say, hey, this is not my style of wine, and the wine is too big. It's fine, because we cannot, most of the time we cannot sit in as every guest that really comes through the door, and that's what we're more challenging every day that comes through. But I love challenges. Don't challenge yourself.
You can't go like that.
You cannot be in the industry, and that's what I really love about the industry.
Lovely, good to know. So I'm going to ask you another few questions before we end off.
Let me first take a sip again.
Build that confidence again. No, but they say when wine comes in, wisdom comes out. So
of course.
The wisdom is gonna come out here now. Okay, the first question I have: how fast can the cork fly out of a champagne bottle?
Sure. Faster than the speed of light. Depends on warm or cold the bottle is.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, it says about 50 miles per hour, which is why you should cover the cork with your hand after the twist.
Okay. Very important. Most people do it actually very wrong. They're turning especially when it comes to champagne bottles, they're turning the cork, not turning the bottle. And that's sometimes really important. And one thing that happens with me when I was working at the winery, for the fact that the wine was a bit warm, and not for me putting my thumb on it. So when I just released the cage and the cork just popped up and almost hit into my face. So that's not a nice thing, but yeah, it depends of how you open the bottle itself.
Okay. Which species of grape is responsible for most of the wine made throughout the world?
Sure. The most international grapes, I would say it's mainly Cabernet Sauvignon and Merlot. And depends in the northern hemisphere. If you go like to Spain, you go to those to Spain or Argentina. It's more mainly about Malbec, but it depends in which areas. But I will go for Cabernet Sauvignon. It's the most international grape everywhere it grows in the world.
100%. Easy question. What does non-vintage mean?
Non-vintage, it depends on wine can be made from different vintages. You can use this year's grapes with last year or 2 years before the grapes, and that's actually why you need to stipulate it as a non-vintage, because all the grapes in the bottle doesn't come really from the specific year indeed, yes. And that's for me what I would say that's a non-vintage wine indeed, yes.
100%, 100%. Last question I have for you. What is the most famous style of wine?
The most famous style of wine is where in South Africa? Or
Yeah,
around the world?
yeah. Like in general.
In general, sure. That's a little bit of a nod there. But I would say the most famous wine, it's probably your border styles of wine. So that I will do. After that I will say it's Cabernet Sauvignon, because for most people it's finding the balance. So I will actually go with border blends and mainly Cabernet Sauvignon.
100%. There you have it, people. That was Leroy, head sommelier at Baco Wine. Leroy, thank you very much for your time today.
Also, thank you so much for having me on this space.
Always
this is really hard. But thanks for having me. I can't appreciate the time, and I can't appreciate for inviting me.
Thank you very
This
much.
format indeed,
Thank
yes.
you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, but guys, thank you for watching with us today.
Thank you.
Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. Until next time, guys.
Gesondheid, dat is
Gesondheid.
baie wel. Baie dankie.